Alright, I was all set to do a different video, and then I came across this video of the not-so-young Turks, because let's face it, they're about as old as I am, laughing, scoffing, and making fun of this poor woman who is upset about the music she found her daughter listening to. That's being played on the radio for all children to listen to. Concerned that it would be a negative influence on them. Well, you got the not-so-young fools laughing and scoffing at her and framing her as being crazy. She's crazy. No, she's right. So let's get into it. So the first thing I want you to notice about this video is the title. Christian Mom's Epic Rap Song Meltdown. They use the word epic in all capitals to make it stand out from the rest of the words in the title. This is an NLP technique called analog marking, and this is used to get that message to the subconscious that this is an epic video. They're using this for clickbait. Epic is a clickbait word. I find it ironic that they would use subliminal techniques to appeal to your subconscious while denying the influence of music upon your subconscious. But that's not the part I want you to pay attention to. I want you to pay attention to the use of the word Christian. Why would they put that in the title? Of course, this woman is a Christian, so it is true, but that's not why they use it. The Young Turks appeal to people that are on the left, and many on the left are opposed to Christianity. So they use the word Christian in the title so that you automatically prejudge her and immediately dismiss anything that she has to say. If you think that the mainstream media is the only ones using the law of polarity to control and manipulate you, well, you got the same thing coming. I would say that you would have another thing coming, but it's the same thing. The same techniques, the same control scheme. You know, way back when I blasted Alex Jones, a lot of people with the polarized mindset thought that, well, if I'm, against Alex Jones, then I must be on the left. No. Blasting Alex Jones wasn't the point. The point was the conspiratorial mindset is not healthy for you. It is not going to get you anywhere in life other than angry, paranoid, and alone. Just as the point here isn't to blast the Young Turks. It's to show that the music you listen to does have an influence, and that gangster rap is not good for you. From someone who works with the subconscious every day and knows how it operates. They want to frame her as crazy for being concerned of her child listening to this type of music. I just call that good parenting, which is in very short supply these days. Probably from people like the Young Turks saying that there's no harm in it. Well, look at me, I turn out okay and I listen to it. You're an adult. The younger someone is, the more impressionable their mind is. The subconscious is just soaking everything up, the younger that you are. And it's those impressions that create programming and habits. And if you want your child to be a low-life, no-life criminal thug, go ahead and let them listen to gangster rap. Because that's what it is. It's criminal music. I mean, all the songs are devoid of anything of real value. It's all about sex, drugs, money, drug money, murder, and running from the cops. The only people it's ever helped are the so-called artists who create it, along with their associates in the music industry. And that's what actually propagates the music and allows it to continue, because a lot of these kids want to grow up to be rap stars, thinking that that's the only way that they're going to be able to get ahead. Now, I don't want to pick on just one genre of music. There are certainly bad elements in all genres of music. including my own music. People will tell me, hey, I really like that song. I'm listening to it over and over again. No, don't do that. Those were written and recorded long before I got into magic and knew about the subconscious mind. There's a lot of not so nice stuff in my music. And when it comes to like gangster rap, that's completely toxic. You have to guard the gates of your mind. People will argue, well, it's just what the artist has gone through and he's expressing himself. I agree with that, just as I was expressing myself or the things that I had went through in my music. But toxic individuals are going to express toxic things. We are expressive beings. What goes in has to come out. So I can't argue with that point, that they're just merely expressing themselves. However, that expression is going to go back in to the people who are listening to it. What goes in has to come out, and then what comes out is going to go back in, and then it's going to come back out in some form. And the more you listen to it, the more it reinforces that loop. Yes, the artist is expressing himself in all of their toxicity, and you're going to vibe with that. Music itself is audible emotion. Music does induce moods. The lyrics are the form. The music is the force. That's exactly what we do in magic. Songs are spells. We even use appropriate music in our spell work to make it that much more potent. See, the Young Turks want to argue the law of cause and effect while totally ignoring the law of cause and effect. They see the law of cause and effect as linear instead of secular, input and output. I've said it before, it doesn't matter whether you are a gangbanger before you listen to gangster rap or not. If you are a gangbanger, then there's about a 100% chance that you do listen to it. That's what you vibe with. Like attracts like. They want to argue chicken and the egg. Which came first? Linear. They're not thinking of it correctly. It's not linear, it's secular. It's a repeating cycle. You don't have to go far into the inner city to see that these communities are locked in a cycle of which they're having difficulty escaping from. In fact, it's ramping up. It's getting worse. The crime, the violence, and all the while it's being reinforced primarily by the music and media they listen to. The input reinforces the output, and the output goes back into the input. It's a circuit. It's a cycle. And just because you're an adult doesn't mean that you are immune. You're just less impressionable, but things can get in there. Things can get in your mind. It was only a few months ago I started putting on some weight, which is unusual for me because I've always had a high metabolism and always had difficulty in that regard. But I started putting on this weight, and I was, eating the planet. I was always hungry. I was eating everything in sight. So I wonder why I'm putting all this weight on, why I'm always hungry. And then it hit me. Did I not listen to Hungry Like the Wolf by Duran Duran like 50 times the past week? I know, don't judge. I grew up in the 80s. I was having a bit of a nostalgia trip. So, oh, that's why I've been so hungry. Hungry like the wolf. If you want to lose weight, maybe put the song Hunger Strike on your playlist. The point is, things can get in there. That's why I don't listen to songs that have the words heart attack in it. I'm middle-aged. It may have a nice melody, but, it's not worth the risk of my health. You should absolutely pay attention to the lyrics in a song. We talk about affirmations as a method to help reprogram your mind in the way that you desire. A song is like 1,000 times more powerful than an affirmation because it's emotionally charged. You get into it while you're listening to it. You're rocking out, singing or dancing along. It's incredibly powerful. You have to be careful what you're putting in your mind. And this woman is concerned of what's going in her child's mind. There's nothing crazy about that. You're crazy if you do not see the effects that music has on your life. Music is in many ways a mirror image of what you have in your mind, because that's what you're putting in it. If you're listening to F that hoe, cap that mother effer, run from the police, etc., what does that say about you? If you can't see that your music imitates your lifestyle and your lifestyle is an imitation of the music, then you're the one that's crazy. Just look around you. Even so, I'm not a proponent of censorship. Although I would bet, and it will never happen, but I would bet that if that music was gone and replaced with something a little more uplifting, that the crime and violence in this country would plummet. Everything begins in the mind. But I'm not a proponent of censorship. I firmly believe that we should be allowed to make our own decisions, our own choices, and yes, our own mistakes. It's just painfully excruciating to watch masses of people continue to make the same mistakes over and over again, and it's very difficult to watch. You may say, Frater, well, I like the music. What else can I listen to? I don't really like any other music. Well, you're going to have to find something that's more uplifting. You can listen to what you want. It's just that successful people will listen to their mentors. People like Bob Proctor, Ty Lopez, Tony Robbins, R.S.D. Tyler. And they'll listen to it almost as much as you probably listen to music, to help engage their mind and get them on an upward spiral instead of listening to things that are going to bring them down. Just don't listen to the not-so-young Turks as a mentor. I would say that they know absolutely nothing about the subconscious, but the subliminal techniques that I've seen them use, I'm not exactly sure that that's true. These people are to the left what Alex Jones is to the right. In any case, the point is, guard the gates of your mind. You want to be mindful of what you may inadvertently be putting in there. It's not like you're going to consciously recognize that, oh, the music is making me do this. No, subconscious programming, you do it without thinking about it. Just as I started eating the planet and gaining weight without really knowing why I was doing it. Not until I went back and examined what I did prior to that. Again, it's the things that you don't catch that go into the subconscious, not the things that you catch consciously and filter out. You're not going to be consciously aware of executing the program while you're executing the program. If you were, you could stop executing the program. I may be the first person in history to say the music made me do it. No one's going to say that the music made them do it, other than people maybe plotting some kind of shoddy legal defense. It wasn't me. Music made me do it. So people aren't aware of the cause while it's happening. Doesn't mean that it's not the cause. And even if it's not the cause, it's still reinforcing it. Like I said, I don't want to pick on just gangster rap, even though that's the most obvious genre to pick on. There's a lot of disempowering music out there, so be mindful. As I said, I'm not for any type of ban. People should be allowed to do what they will. However, that doesn't mean that we need to glorify it either. There's way too much glorification in our society of garbage over substance. Start putting positivity into your mind and you will start to see positive results. If you enjoyed this video, here's another Mystery School lesson you may have missed. Remember to hit the like button and subscribe for more weekly content to help expand your knowledge. Thanks for all the love and support, and I'll see you next time. Take care.